buenas a todos, bienvenidos a vuestro canal, soy Víctor y hoy estamos con Outriders, un juego que saldrá a primeros de mayo si es que no lo vuelven a retrasar, porque ya se retrasó del 2 de febrero, era la fecha inicial en la que iba a salir, y es un juego cooperativo online de hasta 3 jugadores, al estilo, digamos, Redman from the Ashes. Este juego, bueno, vamos a hablar un poquito ahora del juego y luego les voy a dejar un vídeo que es el mejor vídeo que he visto yo en internet que explica cosas sobre el juego y muestra gameplays, etcétera, sobre el juego. Como digo, va a ser un cooperativo con una historia lineal. Iremos a un planeta, el planeta es Enoch. En ese planeta hay una anomalía y en esa anomalía, pues esa anomalía nos dará una serie de poderes. Habrá diferentes clases dentro del juego, como el Pyromancer, el Technomancer, etc. Habrá diferentes clases con diferentes poderes conseguidos a través de esa anomalía. Como digo, va a ser un juego cooperativo online de hasta 3 jugadores, pero con una historia que empieza y acaba. Es decir, no es un juego entendido como juego de servicio. No va a haber actualizaciones, no va a haber cajas, no va a haber tienda, no va a haber ese tipo de cosas. Es un juego que empieza y acaba. Por eso decía yo antes que es al estilo Redman from the Ashes. La historia apenas serán 40 horas, ¿vale? La historia apenas será 40 horas. Y esa es una de las cosas que menos me ha gustado. Veo que la historia es un poco justa para el precio en el que sale este juego al mercado. Porque este juego va a salir a un precio aproximadamente 60-70 euros, precio casi de los máximos, precio de los AAA, en Steam incluido. Va a salir para todas las plataformas y sí que es cierto que lo veo un poquito excesivo para no ser un juego de servicio, para ser un juego con una historia que empieza y acaba. Square Enix nos ha dado grandes franquicias, nos ha dado grandes juegos, pero también el último juego que sacó, que fue el Marvel Avengers, fue totalmente un horror. Un horror. El juego no estaba bien hecho, quisieron hacer un juego ahí servicio, ahí sí que lo quisieron hacer y lo hicieron mal. Y me preocupa mucho que en este juego haya habido ya demoras, porque el que haya demoras muchas veces puede darnos un juego inacabado o un juego lleno de bugs. Por lo tanto, habrá que probarlo. Y para probarlo, va a haber una demo gratuita a la que va a poder acceder todo el mundo a finales de, creo que a finales de febrero, ¿vale? Va a haber una demo. Estaremos muy pendientes de esa demo para jugarla, para que la jueguen, para avisarles de que se la están y la prueben y para ver qué tan interesante es. Por lo tanto, no va a ser un juego que vaya a sustituir a un Division 2, que es un juego que sí está entendido como servicio, pero sí es un juego con una historia que puede estar interesante, lineal, original, hasta cierto punto, y los gameplays parecen bastante divertidos. Ahora, está claro, es un juego que lo pagas, te lo acabas, adiós. Supongo que te lo puedes volver a acabar con otros amigos, pero será la misma historia, los mismos escenarios y la misma vaina. Y desde mi punto de vista, por eso le digo que siento que el juego es un poquito altito de precio para ser un juego que lo empiezas y lo acabas y ya. Vamos, tiene que ser espectacular y tiene que tener una jugabilidad brutal para justificar ese precio, desde mi punto de vista. Es una lástima que cada vez estén haciendo menos juegos en este sentido, orientados como servicio. Simplemente hacen un juego, la acaban y adiós. Sabemos que el mayor ingreso que pueden tener muchas veces las compañías sin arriesgar es hacer un juego, la gente lo compra, lo juega y lo termina, porque buscarlo como servicio siempre es arriesgar. Si no consigues digamos, una plataforma de usuarios suficientemente grande, pues siempre vas a tener problema de que ese juego funcione como servicio. ¿Vale? Bueno, pues esos Raiders serán unos 70 gigas en el disco duro, obligatorio Windows 10 también. Viene con unos requisitos básicos bastante potentes también que va a necesitar el juego, pero como digo, salen todas las plataformas, ¿vale? Salen en Xbox, salen en Play, salen todas las plataformas, por lo cual lo van a tener en todas las plataformas. Pues bueno, estaremos muy pendientes de cualquier noticia adicional que vaya saliendo sobre este juego y les dejo con el vídeo, disfrútenlo, está en inglés, pero visualmente se entiende todo y aparte viene subtitulado, entonces lo pueden entender. Van a ver las clases en el vídeo, van a ver la jugabilidad y les explica un poquito muchas cosas del juego. ¿vale? El vídeo se lo recomiendo que lo vean y espero que les guste. Y nada, y espero sus opiniones y sus expectativas en torno a este juego. Saludos a todos, mucho cariño.
Greetings, Outriders! Welcome back to our Spotlight series, where we deep dive on an individual aspect of the game. Today, we scope out our fourth and final class, the Technomancer. Enoch's anomaly storms might have fried tech for everyone else, but they unleashed abilities for the Technomancer to infuse powers into weaponry at their will. Thus, this class can exploit technology to the most brutal capacity. You can find timecodes in the description if you want to skip to a specific topic, but we recommend sitting back and absorbing all the information on our machinery manipulating Technomancer.
I have become terror. The unseen predator. A rupture that obliterates without warning.
Who is this class for? Technomancers will appeal to a huge spread of players, simply thanks to their enormous versatility. However, the Technomancer's skill set will be utilised best by players who pay special attention to the flow of combat, beyond just raw damage. The status effects that Technomancers can inflict, as well as their boss skill interrupts and their unique ability to heal squad mates, mean that they are suited to fill in support roles. That's not to say Technomancers can't bring the pain. Packing an arsenal of weaponry and their summoning abilities, combined with a strong focus on sniper rifles, mean that they are the ideal class for any players intended to lone wolf their way through Enoch. Fundamentals. Technomancers focus their powers around summoning and indirect sources of damage and effects. Spearheading this playstyle are three core tenets: Ordnance, Gadget, and Decay. Their unique melee power inflicts the freeze status effect onto those hit by it. Freeze stops an enemy in its tracks, allowing you and your squad mates to focus fire on them. Healing. As we've mentioned in the other class spotlights, the main way to regain health is not via potions or spells, but by playing aggressively. In the Technomancer's case, they recover a portion of the damage they deal to enemies as health. They're a true vampire leech. However, the Technomancer's class passives also increase their damage outputs for both long-range weapons and anomaly power, making sure that the Technomancer's healing passive stays on par with the other classes. Powers. Each Outriders class has 8 powers in total. You'll start with a single power and will unlock more as you level up. Let's check out 5 of the abilities Technomancer has in their collection. Power 1, Tool of Destruction. Question: do you prefer to riddle your enemies with bullets or turn them into a puff of red smoke? Well, why not both? With Tool of Destruction, you can change your preference whenever you want to. See, Tool of Destruction works a little differently to other skills in Outriders, in that it has alternate modes. Activating the skill via button press equips your Technomancer with a rocket launcher, but activating the skill by holding down the button will instead equip a minigun. However, the rocket launcher has the added bonus of interrupting enemies it damages. Let's watch that clip again. That orange bar means an enemy is charging up a skill, but the RPG interrupts them, preventing them from casting it. Which, particularly when going toe-to-toe with bosses and captains, can mean the difference between victory and a team wipeout. Power 2, Fixing Wave. For those of you who prefer to play as support or healer to your mates, first of all, you're awesome, the world needs more of you. Secondly, Fixing Wave may just be your skill of choice. Fixing Wave is a skill design exclusive to the Technomancer, and is the only power in Outriders that can restore health back to yourself, your constructs, and your allies, regardless of distance. Power 3, Pain Launcher. This is one of a number of the Technomancer's construct skills, and will create an automated defense device to damage enemies independently. Conjuring a missile launcher, this will engage in artillery-esque carpet bombing to not only damage enemies, but interrupt them as well. Bear in mind this gadget has a slight setup delay, so you'll need to tactically time it well. But if you pull it off, you can expect to create some awesome combinations with Pain Launcher. Power 4, Blighted Turret. More of a relentless, continuous damage type of person. Q Blighted Turret, a skill that places, yeah, you guessed it, an automated turret. But not only does this weaponry pour lead into your foes, it also inflicts the status condition Toxic. This deals damage over time and can be used to whittle down their health with hit and run tactics. You could use your turrets offensively through strategic placements to bolster your damage output, such as by flanking enemies. Alternatively, you could drop a turret while falling back to a better position, and it will keep your enemies occupied while you get ready to form your next plan of attack. Power 5, Cold Snap. Cold Snap is a large area of effect skill that will freeze all enemies in place. In an offensive scenario, you can use Cold Snap to wreak havoc with your other skills or regular weapons, especially if you manage to catch enemies when they're clumped together. Defensively, Cold Snap will help you prevent melee attackers from swarming you and getting too close. This is particularly useful for players who prefer sniper rifles and long-range combat. And bear in mind, the Technomancer will feature 3 more powers on top of these first 5. Endless opportunities for computer-based carnage. Power combos. The wide range of powers in Outriders gives so much scope for mixing and matching different combinations. Let's check out one example. So, say you're a lone wolf Technomancer being chased by a group of Porphyro. Using Cold Snap will freeze the enemies in place, buying you time to retreat and throw a Blighted Turret in their midst. While they're distracted and getting toxified, initiate Tool of Destruction to conjure a minigun and mow down any stragglers. Alter your Technomancer. Each class has a tree of class point nodes that you can activate to alter the way your build and skills work. Class points are acquired by leveling up. You can't fill out the class tree entirely, but you will be able to respec your nodes to mix up your playstyle. And there are no costs or penalties. Respec your tree at any time. The 3 branches for the Technomancer are as follows: Pestilence, Tech Shaman, and Demolisher, with each branch providing both major and minor passives that affect your character's type of damage focus and survivability. The Pestilence branch flows best with your decay skills and weapons. It's all about increasing the damage you do with guns and provides great bonuses, particularly to sniper rifles or assault rifles. The Tech Shaman is more focused around indirect damage and will boost your turrets, freeze effects, and healing. Notably, the overclocked passive node here will increase your damage significantly whenever you activate gadget skills, but it will also grant you a second chance. The Demolisher path will synergize with the greatest amount of your skills, and node here will mean that using your ordnance or gadget skills will impart a host of bonuses and buffs to you, as well as boost your toxic effect damage. Notably, this path also has a node which will inflict toxic on all enemies that you freeze with your melee attack. As well as this, the equipment you use might also influence the way your skills work. The equipment passives might reduce the cooldown or duration of a skill, or they might alter it on a more fundamental level. And there we have it, an introduction to the Outriders tech whiz, but probably not the one you'd want to help set up Grandma's new phone. This was our 4th and final class, but do check out the other spotlights on Trickster, Pyromancer, and Devastator if you haven't already. So that you don't miss any upcoming videos, make sure you subscribe and have notifications turned on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peggy 18.
Greetings, Outriders. Welcome to the Outriders Spotlight, a collection of videos where you can find out much more about individual topics in the world of Outriders. This is your one-stop shop, the place to be, where you'll have explanations straight from the team behind the game. This is just the start. We'll have plenty of deep dives coming in the future to prepare you for landing on Enoch, so subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll never miss a beat. We're kicking things off with one of the 4 classes you'll be playing as, the Trickster.
If there's something you want to know in particular, we've broken the video down into sections. Use the timecodes in the description below this video or just skip along to the part you want to see. Otherwise, sit back and learn everything you need to know about the assassin class.
As tricksters, we manipulate the fabric of time and space to take out enemies by surprise.
Who is this class for? Players who like to get in and out quick, leaving devastation in your wake. Tricksters are for you. However, because of the way skills and your passives can be customized, certain builds of the Trickster could be used as a tank role for the rest of your group. The choice is yours. Fundamentals. The Trickster is focused around space and time powers and effects. You can see this in the class's melee attack, which stuns and slows enemies hit by it. Oh, and speaking of melee, it isn't one size fits all. Not only do the different classes have melee abilities enhanced by their own unique powers, but there are 2 variations as well. You've got your standard melee when standing still, or your upgraded attack when you activate melee while sprinting. Healing. Within the brutal and violent world of Outriders, there'll come times where you'll be hurt and need to be healed. The key thing to note here is that there aren't any quick fix health potions or magic spells, but playing offensively restores HP instead. This affects your playstyle in that it invites you to play more aggressively, rather than run and duck for cover when your health is low. Your best chance at survival may actually be to teleport to where the fighting is thickest. Taking your enemies down is the key to keeping you alive. Unique to the Trickster, they get healed when killing enemies in close range, and they also get shields, while other classes have their own healing mechanics. Let's explore 4 out of 8 total powers the Trickster has at their fingertips. Each class has 8 powers in total. You'll start off with a single power and unlock more as you level up. The Trickster will feature an additional 4 powers on top of those that we're talking about today, but we'll showcase these later on. Power 1, Temporal Slice. This will be the very first power you unlock as a Trickster, and it's the class's bread and butter. All enemies hit by the slash will be temporarily paralyzed, which is displayed by their skeletons becoming visible and their movement greatly slowing down. Slowing enemies down is a key Trickster skill, as it allows you and your squad mates to pour lead into any enemies caught in the effect. The Temporal Slice is especially effective in combination with other skills that cluster enemies close together. The slice will affect all enemies and allow for maximum damage and kills, which can easily heal a nearly dead Trickster back to full health thanks to the mechanics. Power 2, Borrowed Time. Upon use of this skill, you will instantly gain a percentage of your maximum health as a shield that absorbs damage before your health is affected. Additionally, using the power will create a time clone of yourself in the location that the power was used. You can thereafter freely move about and engage the enemy, or set up a trap. But using the borrowed time again, when your time clone is still active, will teleport you back to the time clone's location. Should you be going into a high-risk combat situation, you may want to use this skill as your quick escape from danger. Just when you're about to die, you can teleport to safety. Power 3, Slow Trap. This power will create a dome around you that slows down enemies and enemy projectiles, while still allowing yourself and your allies to move at normal speed. Think of it as your own personal bullet time bubble. This is a skill that can be used both offensively and defensively. Defensive. Activate the dome in the middle of a firefight, and you and your fellow Outriders will be able to sidestep any incoming projectiles or melee attackers. You can also use the slow trap to help in resurrecting a fellow teammate if they've been downed in a particular hotspot. Enoch is also home to many different kinds of enemies, and you may occasionally find yourself swarmed by melee attackers or monsters. Activating slow trap in these circumstances can be an excellent way to trap numerous enemies. Move into a cluster of enemies and activate the dome to make them all move in slow motion. Then go to town. Power 4, Hunt the Prey. When activated, this skill will allow you to highlight any visible enemy. Using the skill once more will teleport you directly behind them, and you will additionally gain a percentage of your maximum health as a shield, whilst also slowing the enemy it's used on. You can instantly warp across the battlefield to either get yourself into or out of trouble. This skill could even be your opening gambit when first entering a combat encounter. You can walk right into the thick of the enemies and lay waste around you. Alternatively, you can also use it to teleport to single enemies who are separate from the main body of attackers. This should buy you some time and allow you to pick enemies off one by one. As with all classes in Outriders, powers can be hot swapped, as long as they're not on cooldown. You could even change them while in combat, though we'd recommend taking cover to do so, or you may find yourself dead. Powers in Outriders are designed to have relatively short cooldowns. There's essentially no limit to how much you can use them to get the most out of combat. So far, we've mainly looked at 4 powers in isolation, but Outriders truly comes together when you and your squad mates are in the thick of battle, timing your powers perfectly to inflict maximum carnage. Hunt the Prey can be especially effective when combined with Borrowed Time. Teleport into the thick of it using Hunt the Prey, then inflict maximum damage using Temporal Slice or Slow Trap. If running into danger, Borrowed Time can be your ripcord to get you out of it again, while Hunt the Prey is on cooldown. This is only a very simple example of how powers could be chained. You'll no doubt find your own most effective ways of playing Outriders your way. Alter your Trickster. Each class has a tree of class point nodes that you can activate to alter the way your build and skills work. Class points are acquired by leveling up. You won't be able to fill out the entire class tree, but you will be able to respec your nodes to change the way you play. The 3 branches for the Trickster link into the class's fundamentals: movement, damage, and disruption, with each branch providing both major and minor passives. In the Trickster's case, these 3 branches are called Master of Space, Harbinger, and Assassin. There are elements of the fundamentals in all branches. They're intertwined, and you can cross-link them to your personal needs and wishes. The Master of Space branch will generally provide bonuses while the player is moving, and improves your close combat effectiveness. Nodes here will enhance your damage with shotguns and SMGs when you use movement-based skills. The Harbinger is the tank path of the Trickster. This path focuses on providing damage mitigation as well as shield bonuses to provide maximum survivability. And the Assassin branch focuses on skill damage output. Several nodes here provide bonuses when you use damage and movement skills, and the path provides additional anomaly power and skill leech options. Additionally, the equipment you use may impact the way your skills work. An equipment's passives might reduce the cooldown or duration of a skill, or they might alter it on a more vital level, but we'll showcase these in the future.